So I just spent the last 7 days making an entire video game from scratch for a competition. This was the Brackeys Game Jam 2026. It's essentially a competition that happens every year where everyone around the world has 7 days to complete a game around the same theme. And this year's theme was Strange Places. After the 7 days, everyone that participated in the competition gets the opportunity to score every game submitted. And after the voting is complete, every game is ranked from best to worst. I'm going to take you through what happened to me in just those 7 days and find out if I was actually able to get a full complete game submitted before the time ran out. You're allowed as big of a team as you want. The problem is I don't have any friends that know game development, so it's just me this year. And for my goal to not only submit a game in time, but ultimate goal is to rank at least in the top 10% of all games. Before I even think about what my game's going to rank, first, I have to make it. Day one always starts the same. Once I get the theme, I spend way longer than I should thinking of an idea for what game I want to make. The first thing I thought of when I heard the theme, I wanted to make a game like Call of Duty Zombies, specifically like Shadows of Evil. I used to play this game all the time back in the day, and making a game in that setting would be perfect. My idea? I want to incorporate a 1940s-esque noir film style, and the player is a detective that fights off strange creatures in a back alley, either incorporating an enemy wave system or a linear story-driven game. I haven't figured that out yet. I wanted to get the theme just right, so I set up a gray box world, which is just a scene with, well, gray boxes. But I tweaked the lighting and shadows and various effects to prove that I could achieve the look I was going for. After a little bit, this was the final result. I had to research how film and AAA games set up their lighting and got something I was pretty happy about. But after that, about an hour is gone, and I didn't have any gameplay, so I figured I'd work on that. I started on the third-person player for the game, and I thought it would be a good idea to add Ragdoll animations. Many games that are coming out recently are doing this, and I've always wanted to add that in my game. I've already made a pretty good third-person player for my Clash Royale remake video, which you should totally check out, by the way. So I figured it wouldn't be that hard to take and implement physics into it.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
But I completely underestimated how hard that was going to be. I spent so long trying to get something working, and the only tutorial I found was from about a year ago. I was totally lost. So I had two choices. Either keep going with this game or find a new idea. This was when Strange Discovery was born. So I went back to the drawing board. I kept going back to this one idea I had when I first heard the theme. I thought of a game idea where you're an astronaut exploring strange planets, kind of inspired by No Man's Sky, except I've actually never played it. I was thinking of like a calm and peaceful vibe, destroying the galaxy, capturing and documenting plants and animals. I figured since I'm not that good at 3D modeling, I wanted to use procedural terrain generation, like in other popular games. I've actually worked on a procedural terrain generation before when I followed a tutorial by Sebastian Lake, but that was about 2 years ago and for a completely different game engine. I started using Godot about a year ago, so I needed to find a new tutorial that can achieve the same thing. I found this tutorial, and luckily, they use the same techniques in both engines, so I got something that, well, I'm not going to say good, but it's working. After all that, from going from one game idea to switching to the next and building systems that I'm not even going to use, my time is up for day one. It's not looking very promising that I'm even going to get this done in time. After I got home from work, I had very little hope for my game, but I figured I wouldn't give up just yet. Sadly, my landlord asks for money each month, so I have to work Monday through Friday, so it doesn't give me much time to actually work on the game those days. I started with what I know: player movement, camera controls, basic interaction. I built a little box to test out my player. I got the player moving, jumping, and taking pictures. I even got some sound effects in the game. Things were kind of looking up. Now it's back to my world generation. I realized that my old code was looking like that because I had it set as a 10x10 grid, so I wasn't able to get any sort of definition in the world. So I scaled up my terrain by like 400. So do I know how to optimize for this? Of course not. Yeah, this game is gonna run worse than GTA 6 when it comes out. By the end of the day, I had a player walking around the planet, taking pictures of the flat, boring landscape. It was playable, at least. I actually felt kind of optimistic for this day because I had almost half the game done, and all I needed to do was build a spaceship and get a game loop and populate the world So I made a gray box with some tables and some gray computer screens. And the left computer is where you'll be able to see your pictures you've taken. And this right computer is where you'll be able to see all the things you've discovered. I started on the visuals to see all the photos you've taken. Then I tried to implement a system to add discoverable items in the game where it would be easy for me to just add more without doing much bug fixing. So I tested out the system with this triangle, which represents a flower. And as you can see, showing up in the ship log once I had taken pictures of it. So now all I had to do to get new items in the game was to 3D model it, attach the scripts, change the variables, and make an icon for it. Still seems like a lot, but honestly, some of the games I've made in the past didn't do this kind of system, and the headache it caused makes it totally worth it. I added some animation for when the player zooms in with the camera, and some fine adjustments to the world generation, and the game was looking pretty good at this point. Day 4 was the start of getting these boring gray models out of here. I started with the model of the ship, and luckily I already kind of laid out the model of what I wanted, so it was as easy as bringing the model into Blender, changing out all the boring boxes with slightly less boring boxes, and then once it was one complete 3D model, I added a pipe, and it doesn't do anything, it just looks cool. I got it into the game, I added a space skybox, and I tried to make it look like the ship was flying through space with some Godot particles. It kind of got that effect. After bug fixing all the systems and making sure that it was working properly, it finally looked like I had a working game. I brought in my pause system from my last game, and did some other small fixes like show the keybinds on the screen because I knew I wasn't going to be able to have time to make a tutorial screen, and I also don't really like tutorial levels in-game, so I knew I didn't want one. Yeah, I got super busy these days, and I don't think I did anything memorable. Okay, it came kind of quicker than expected, but now it's time for the final day. Probably my longest and least interrupted day to work on my game. I found this website with free-to-use textures, so I found some good textures for my spaceship and terrain and downloaded those. All the textures on the website are in 4K, which is gonna be a problem later. Next thing I need to do, desperately, was set up a better world environment. I found this really cool grass shader by Binbun, which was exactly what I wanted in my game. You should definitely check out his stuff. I just found him scrolling the r/Godot subreddit, and he's insanely talented and has so many other tools for Godot. Finally, I started modeling plants for my game. I started with these very basic like oak trees and flowers, and no game is complete without a banana tree. This took most of my time because 3D modeling is definitely my weakest game dev skill. I need to make some animals, so I thought it'd be easy to start with a bird. Started working on some animations for idling and flying and brought that into Godot. I probably should have started on animals so much earlier because getting it moving into the game was so much harder than I thought. Okay, things are looking good. I still have 5 hours left before I need to submit it. So first, before I add anything else, let me export the game and have a working copy just in case anything goes wrong. Yeah, remember all those 4K textures that I had brought into the game? It took me about an hour to figure out that those took up so much space that the game exceeded the maximum size you can upload to the site. After figuring this out, it took me another hour to figure out how to size the window properly so it would export onto the website. I first wanted a fixed size so I didn't have to worry about the HUD looking weird at different scales, but for reasons I have yet figured out, it would completely break my game. So I went back and adjusted my project to automatically scale with the window size, which I probably should have done for the beginning. Then, well, that's it. Spent my last few hours getting the site looking decent, making cover art that looks like a 12-year-old made it, and I ran out of time. Did I get it completed? I managed to get a playable game uploaded to the competition, and people are actually playing it and giving feedback. And surprisingly, most of it's positive. There are a few bugs and performance issues, but besides that, we did it. So now the moment you've all been waiting for, how did my game do? Out of 1,431 games, I placed just over half of them. If you made it this far into the video, that would be kind of insane, but honestly, the best way to support me is sharing it with a friend. But if anything, subscribe, because it's a sad sight over there right now.